Hello everyone and welcome back to Sundays in the Garden. If you're new, my name is Sarah and on this channel in 2025 I am sharing every single day of a gardener's year. What that means in practice is that every single day I am filming something. Majority of time I'm here in my cottage garden and kitchen garden area, so I'm sharing what I'm getting up to on a day-to-day basis. When I'm not here, I'm sharing my thoughts on the garden. I might be visiting other gardens and I'm just sharing every single thing that makes up this gardener's year. Those of you who've been following for a while will remember that last week I ended the week by travelling up north to visit some friends. So that's where we're going to start this week, and then I'll be travelling back down to share with you everything I get up to this third week of February in my gardener's year. After a hearty breakfast, we began our day at Cannon Hall Farm. It was such a wholesome day spent with good friends and enjoying all of the cute animals the farm had to offer. After a long drive home, we arrived home about 4 p.m, so there was just time to feed the birds, and then I decided to move all of my spring pots to their final position down by the house where I could enjoy their beautiful display. In these pots, there are things like daffodils, tulips, hyacinths, muscari and crocuses, as well as a bulb lasagna which has tulips, daffodils and crocuses in. I really can't wait to see how these look in a few weeks' time. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you can see these spring pots in all their glory. Monday the 17th of February began bright and cold, and we started our day at the Roald Dahl Museum in Great Missenden. We had a fantastic day learning all about Roald Dahl's life and being inspired to write stories of our own. We arrived home in the early evening, and once again I popped outside to feed the birds. Someone, mentioning no names, Stephen the squirrel, had knocked down the bird feeder, so I popped that back up and then headed up to the greenhouse to check on my seedlings. After a quick check of my rhubarb, it was back inside to water my seedlings, and then finish off my website, ready for the garden press event on Tuesday. Tuesday the 18th of February was an early start, as I headed into London to attend my first ever garden press event. I jumped on the tube at Angel and then waited for my friend our little veg garden, and we headed up to the Business Design Centre and headed into the event together. We were greeted by this stand from British Garden Centres and a talk by Mr. Plant Geek. You can see how happy I am to be here. Then we perused some new garden products on the market for 2025. I'll share a bit more about some of those later. The event was a wonderful opportunity to see all of the new products that many well-known brands are bringing to the market in 2025, as well as to catch up with some other garden communicators and visit some of my favourite brands to see what they are offering in 2025. After a busy but beautiful day, I was just home in time to check on my seedlings. I'm back home in time to feed the birds. Hi guys and happy Wednesday. Today I'm at a local plant nursery because I'm on the hunt for some different varieties of tomato seeds. I have used up a lot of my tomato seeds and not been organised enough to order some more. I've got a few varieties at home, but I want to see if I can increase my supply. So I'm going to go and see what kind of varieties they've got here and perhaps see what else they've got in stock as well. So I'll stop waffling on and let's go and see what I can find. and happy Wednesday evening. As you would have seen earlier in the video, yesterday I was at the Gardener'S event at the Business Design Centre in London, where I met with loads of other people who are doing similar work to me, so garden writers, garden videographers, garden photographers, garden content creators, and anyone associated with the garden media. Also there were lots of suppliers from the world of gardening and horticulture who were all there to showcase their latest offerings for 2025. It was a wonderful event because I got to meet with loads of other people doing similar things to me, as well as these fantastic suppliers. So if you're in the garden media or anywhere in the gardening sphere, then I highly recommend going along next year. When we were moving around the event, there was loads of suppliers to chat to, and many of them were really kind to offer us some products to try so we can share them with you and let you know how we get on with them. An honest review, no payment, just the products to try out and then share with our audience to see how we get on with them. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to go through some of the products that I was kindly given, share my initial thoughts on them, and then I will share over the coming weeks when I try them out how I get on with them. So Westland Horticulture are actually an umbrella company for so many other brands, which I didn't know about until yesterday. So I knew Westlands as being suppliers of compost and things like that, bark, but they're also an umbrella company for the bird feeding company Peckish. They also supply gardening equipment, hoses, spades, cleaning solutions, and a whole host of other things. So that was really interesting to discover in itself. Westlands gave us a beautiful bag of products, so I'm just going to show some of those with you, and then you can watch me over the next few weeks trying them out and see how I get on. The first thing I was gifted from the Westland stand was this Peckish bird feeder. It's the Woodland Feast Seed and Suet Cake Feeder, and there it is. So the wood is 100% sustainably sourced, it's made with 100% recycled materials, and the plastic topping is made from plastic waste that has been used to make this little roof here. So that is fantastic. I don't know if you can, that'll focus on there. But I'm looking forward to trying this out and see how the birds get on with this feeder. So I'm going to fill it to the top. There's little holes here they can poke their noses through, a little place here where they can stand at the bottom, and then you can put some suet balls and things down here at the bottom as well. Another product that Westland gave me was this Resolver spray, and it claims, as the lady on the stand was telling me, that it can clean outdoor toys, garden furniture, fences, patios, and pots and containers. So if you've got green algae growing on things or anything that looks a bit grubby, apparently you can spray this on. It's ready to use, doesn't need any scrubbing, and it's long lasting and pet safe. So I am going to try it out for you. It does say that it is pet safe and wildlife safe once dry, but there were questions from some of the people I was with about whether this is good for the environment. Obviously, if you can find a better solution than using products like this, it's probably better. But it is as safe as these things can be. It shouldn't harm wildlife or pets or children as long as you use it following the instructions. I'm going to try it on some green algae on my fence. I'm going to just spray one of the panels. I'm going to try it on our patio area, and I'm going to try it on some green algae growing on one of our pots. So I'll let you know how I get on with this. Westlands have also released their new plant feeding range this year, which is called Boost, which I saw in the garden centre earlier on. And in the pack they gave me, there are these all-purpose 6-month feed Boost granules. So I don't tend to feed with things like this. I tend to feed with either the comfrey feed that I make myself or other plant foods, but I've never really used things like granules. So let me know in the comments whether you do use things like this. 4 times multi-action, stronger roots, greener foliage, healthier plants, more blooms. Ideal for containers and baskets. So I'll let you know how I get on with these. I will try it in some of my containers just to see if it has any obvious effect. Kent and Stowe are also one of the companies that are under Westlands, and they provide things like garden tools, garden gloves and that kind of thing. And Westlands gifted me these Kent and Stowe gardening gloves. I had a look online, these are worth about £25. It says they're multi-purpose gloves and reinforced for medium duty tasks, guaranteed protection. So I'll see how these compare to my other gardening gloves. Us gardeners can always do with some more gloves, so I'm looking forward to trying these out. These are medium, so hopefully they'll fit my hands reasonably well. Westlands also gifted me these lovely slips, also Kent and Stowe, under the Westlands family. And these are beautiful. These are worth £23.95, I think I found online. Eversharp Garden Snips, the sharpest, hardest blade that never blunts. 10-year guarantee. So you'll have to follow me for a very long time to find out whether these stand up to that test. But interesting to see how I get on with them. I like the size of them because they're actually a lot smaller than a lot of my other ones. And I think, you know, being a lady with quite small hands, these might feel more comfortable to me than some of the larger, clunkier ones. So I'll let you know how I get on with the Kent and Stowe Eversharp Garden Snips. I was also gifted some seeds, these Unwin's Spinach Nevada and the Unwin's Spring Onions. So I'll be sowing these at the beginning of next month, so I'll let you know how I get on with these. But Unwin's are fairly well known and they tend to have a reasonable success rate, so I'll let you know how I do with those. Westland also provide orchid food, and they gave me a sample of these orchid droplet feeder, 1 month's feed. So actually, I'd be really interested to try these. I've got a few orchids around the house and I don't do anything with them. I water them and they survive despite me. So it'll be really interesting to see if I pop this into one of my plants, whether it has a significant improvement compared to my others. So I'll let you know how I get on with that one. And this is also aimed at house plants, whether it can be used on other plants as well, I do not know. I'll have to look that up. But this is a Westland watering indicator. You can pop it into the soil and see whether they need any more water using the little guide on here. But I mean, watering's a tricky one, isn't it? Because surely we can kind of use a finger test. Definitely with the outside plants, I would just see what the compost feels like. And I'm not great with houseplants, so this will be a great one for those people who were at the event who are specialists in houseplants, because they will be able to fully review this and have a good indicator as to whether it's helpful. That was all of the lovely gifts that I got from the Westland stand, and then we were over at the Dobby stand and they gifted us this lovely bag, and these are kind of the new colours for their range in 2025. Noticed a lot, there was still some of the sage green around, which has been popular for a while, but there are also other shades of green that seem to be coming in as well. And they also gave us their brochure for 2025. There's some lovely things coming in at Dobby's. This is their furniture range. Just a lovely magazine to have a look through. I was also really, really pleased to see they're going to be partnering with the Alzheimer's Association this year, which is something that my paternal grandfather suffered with. And they are going to be giving some of their profits to the Alzheimer's Association. So that's brilliant and really positive to see. I also had a chance to chat to British Garden Centres. They're opening a new garden centre at Harleston Woods, which is not too far from me in Northamptonshire. So I am going to be invited along to the press day for that, and I'm really excited. So I'll share that with you when that happens, but we're not sure exactly when it's opening yet. I had a chance to chat to Hot Bin Composting. These guys say that their compost bins can compost materials within 30 to 90 days, which is really interesting. I've seen a few people on social media talking about these and kind of keen to see how it works. I'd love to know your comments in the bottom. I haven't got one of these at the moment, so I can't vouch for it, but it was interesting to think you could get compost within 30 to 90 days. So if anyone's tried one of these, let me know in the comments. I got to talk to Alfresco, who provide anti-bug bite botanical blend. This was really lovely, actually. I'm not someone who suffers too much with getting bitten by insects, but I know that there are people out there who just get bitten by everything. And they had a beautiful product range of lovely smelling sprays, moisturizers, all kinds of things that actually didn't smell like bug spray. They smelt beautiful. Founded in 1996 at a renowned medicinal garden in London, Alfresco was created in collaboration with a prestigious 300-year-old British perfume house. Our range of fragrances, moisturisers and lotions is crafted from the highest quality natural ingredients. Free from DEET, parabens and synthetic chemicals, our products feature a unique blend of over 25 essential oils. They did smell amazing, really, really lovely. They're vegan, they're family friendly, they're made in the UK, they smell amazing, and I can't vouch for whether they work on bugs, but if they do, then they are definitely onto a winner. I met with a German company called Fried, who are a company that help you to plan your garden using an app, and they had some really cute little knitted items on their stand, and they were a really friendly bunch. Plan, grow and manage your garden, helping gardeners to create tailored planting plans with ease, supporting companion planting and crop rotation for better results. So this is something for beginner gardeners. If I've got any beginner gardeners following me, then I think this could be really useful. The app looked really, really brilliant, really user-friendly, really visually appealing, and definitely worth checking out. I'm sure many of you will have heard of Garden on a Roll. I certainly have seen it on social media a lot of times, and they were at the event as well. These guys literally tailor a border to your space. So you put in the dimensions of your space, and then you put in the kind of location of your space, whether it's shady, whether it's full sun, whether you're looking for a cottage garden feel, whether you're looking for a hot border. They do so many different border varieties, and then what they do is you put in the dimensions of your border, they send you everything you need to plant that border to make it look beautiful. It all comes in a box. You get your pots of plants, you get a big roll of paper that measures the same dimensions as your border, and then you just pop the plants exactly where the border indicates that you should do so. I don't know if you can see that in there. I mean, I've seen these guys a lot on social media, but if you don't have kind of Instagram and things, you may have missed them. It's a really nice idea for those who are struggling to plan a space. I also had a lovely chat with the guys at Frank P. Matthews, and they were releasing their new pear tree, Pear Cornish Gold, at the event. We tried some of the pear juice. It was absolutely delicious, and I was really keen to chat to them because I'm thinking of adding in some step over fruit trees, or maybe some fruit trees over by the fence in the kitchen garden area. So talking to these guys was really interesting, and I will look at their range when I'm coming to include some more apple trees and pear trees at the back of the garden. And finally, you probably saw earlier that I stopped by the crocus stand, and they had some lovely offerings for 2025. Some beautiful garden structures and art pieces, which were both beautiful and functional to feed the birds and the bees. Their range was really, really pretty. Lots of terracotta pots and just decorative features, which were really, really beautiful. They also gave me their press book for 2025 with their new offerings. There's lots of lovely things in there, as well as some seeds to try. So I have 3 different varieties of poppies. We have a purple opium poppy. We have Beth's poppy, which is a really small flower, pink and cute, not what we'd associate with a larger poppy. And finally, these fantastic, amazing grey poppies, which actually look blue to me on this packet. Don't know if the light picks it up in here, but amazing to try. What does it say about these? Remarkable, refined and ruffled semi-double poppies in shimmering shades of slate, silver, misty mauve and blue, often with a pearly white edge. Amazing, actually. They do look really interesting. So I'm definitely going to grow some of these this year. But they're all from Crocus. And that sums up all of the things that I came back with. I also met some really interesting people at Dale Farm Compost, and they produce compost sustainably, peat-free on their farm in the Lake District. And they're going to send me a couple of bags of compost to try out. So I'll share that with you when that arrives. And they've also invited me to visit their farm in the Lake District. And people who've followed me for a while will know that I travel to the Lake District with my family a couple of times a year normally. So I'm going to try and tie in a visit to their farm when we next go to the Lake District. So that's really exciting, and I'll share that with you as well, all as part of my Gardener's year. Sorry for all of the waffling on. I hope you've managed to stay with me, but I had a really brilliant time at the Garden Press event. There were so many people to meet and wonderful companies to chat to. So again, if you're doing similar things to me, making YouTube videos, making gardening content, writing, or anything else to do with garden media, I highly recommend getting along to the Garden Press event next year. Hello everyone, and happy Thursday. I feel just about recovered now from the Garden Press event that I went to on Tuesday. It was so brilliant to meet so many other people who are doing similar things to me, as well as some amazing suppliers that have got loads of new things happening in 2025. Today I'm back in the greenhouse and I'm looking to sow a few more seeds. I've got loads and loads of seeds that I still want to get sowing, and end of February and beginning of March is going to be a really busy time for seed sowing. Again, it's a busy working lunchtime, so I haven't got that long today, but I'm going to see if I can start off some of my tomato seeds. I've got quite a lot of different varieties to try, and I think I'm going to sow them in large seed trays in rows and then prick them out based on the varieties I've got. Okay, so these are all the tomato varieties I'm going to sow this year. First of all, we have the staple of the garden, Gardener's Delight, Thompson & Morgan. Then I've got this one from B&Q, and it's Cherry Chocolate, a very dark coloured, almost purpley tomato. Then we've got Alicante, which is a really favourite variety for many growers, and this is a Kitchen Garden magazine seed. We've got Buffalo Steak, Thompson & Morgan. really nice large one. We've got Costoluto Fiorentino. I'm going to say. A really nice beefsteak type tomato again from Mr. Fothergill's. Shirley from Mr. Fothergill's. We have Moneymaker from Kitchen Garden Magazine. We have a red cherry tomato from Mr. Fothergill's. And we have Sunbaby from Gardener's World magazine, which is a nice pale one. I also have some more Gardener's Delight here, so I might sow some of these if the first version don't do too well. Many of these I'll be selling at the Marie Curie plant sale that we're having in a few weeks' time, just outside the front of our house. So I will sow a lot and then I will work out how many I've got space for. I am hoping to reconfigure this greenhouse before everything starts growing fully, but I won't be able to grow that many. So lots of these will be being sold in aid of Marie Curie. Okay, so I've filled 3 large seed trays with the Verve seed and cutting compost from B&Q, which is what I've started all of my seeds inside off in, and they've all been doing really well. I'm going to sow directly... What? There's another one. 2 squirrels. What are you doing, guys? Hi. Okay, I'm going to sow directly onto the top of these seed beds and then cover them lightly with compost. So I'm going to just sow in rows and then mark the rows with the varieties. Right, Gardener's Delight. Let's go for it. 1, 2. Cherry chocolate. How many seeds is there in here? There's only 12 seeds in this one. 4, 5. Cherry chocolate. And then Alicante. Does anyone else underestimate how long it takes to sow seeds? You sort of think, oh yeah, I can get all these sown in a few minutes. But actually, it's quite a time-consuming process. Very relaxing. Very relaxing indeed. But if you're being careful not to drop any and you're taking your time over it, it isn't a quick undertaking. 1. So I don't want loads of these really, really large ones. So I'm just going to sow 1 row of buffalo steak F1s and then keep a couple for me and sell the rest at our plant sale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 buffalo steak F1s. Okay, so I've got 7 rows of tomatoes in here, 4 different varieties. So I'm going to lightly cover them with some compost and then take them into the house to germinate. Trying my best not to move them from the rows that I've put them in so that I know which one's which. But good luck to everyone at our plant sale because who knows which one they'll end up getting. Once again, I haven't fully grasped how long this would take me to do. So I've only got 1 seed tray completed and I've got 2 here, which I'll just cover up and leave until tomorrow where I can sow some more. So I've still got 6 more varieties to sow, which I'll be doing tomorrow, but another brilliant job done for this Thursday lunchtime. Hello guys, happy Friday, back in the greenhouse, going to sow the remainder of my tomato seeds now. I've got 20 minutes let's see if I can get them all done. The seed trays are prepared, so I'm just going to get on with it and probably do a little time-lapse video so you haven't got to watch the boring process, but let's see how many I can get sown in 20 minutes. Brilliant! I managed to achieve that in 19 minutes, so that's perfect. I'm going to cover these, take them in the house and wait a few weeks for them to germinate. There are loads of seeds in here, so definitely plenty to sell at the Marie Curie plant sale we've got at the end of next month, but loads to look forward to and really pleased to have got that job done. Tomorrow, Saturday, very unusually, we're here all day and I have got so many jobs around the garden that I want to get on top of before we get to the end of February. So join me tomorrow as I try to get on top of as many garden jobs as possible by the end of February. Hello, it's still Friday and I'm back outside because our plans for the weekend that I was just talking about may have changed. We were supposed to be visiting some snowdrops on Sunday, but due to the high winds forecasted, the snowdrop event we were planning to attend has been cancelled, maybe being rearranged for the following weekend or maybe being cancelled entirely, so I'm waiting to find out on that one. So there is another place that I might go and visit some snowdrops tomorrow, which will then mean that the big garden clear up that I have planned will move to Sunday. So while I've got a few minutes now, I thought I'd try and get a few more tidying up jobs done before the weekend. Okay, so I'm just going to work in this area because this is some more meadowsweet and it's already starting to produce new shoots down at the base here. So I'm going to cut this back, cut the holly back a little bit so that we can make full use of our decking area this spring and summer. I'm also going to be trying out my new Kent and Stowe gifts that I was talking about in the video earlier. These are the Kent and Stowe gloves. They do fit really well. They feel really comfy, so fingers crossed these will be nice and easy to work with. And these are the Kent and Stowe snips, which are the ones that have the 10-year guarantee on them. And they feel so comfortable. Really, really nice, actually. I'm still trying to work out how to open them and close them nice and easily, but they're perfect size for my hands. And they do look amazingly sharp. So we're going to use those now to cut back this meadowsweet. Oh my goodness me. These are so strong. I don't know if I've just been buying cheap secateurs. Probably I normally spend about £10. And these apparently retail at £25, £23, £25. But the difference in how comfy they are to use and how quickly and powerfully they cut through this is amazing. Really good. I'm going to be going to my local garden centre and purchasing some more of these, either in the same size or perhaps some different varieties of it, because they're so comfy and so strong. New favourite snips. I clearly have not used decent snips before. They're just making this job a really pleasurable experience. If anyone following me has been to the Garden Press event and picked up some of these snips, let me know in the comments how you're finding them, because I'm finding them so comfortable. So I'm also filling up this lovely new bird feeder from Peckish. Let's see what the squirrels make of that one. There are also lots of pots laying around up here. So I'm going to collect these and tidy this area up a little bit. Ooh. This had some dahlias in, but it's broken, as you can see. So I'm going to be using this for crocks. These are some things you can put into the bottom of pots to stop the hole at the bottom getting blocked up, but you can just as easily use broken bits of pots like this to cover the drainage hole and stop it getting blocked up. So I can smash that. Okay. This was the compost that housed the dahlias last year, so I'm just going to pop that onto this bed because it will still be really useful this year. And a big juicy worm in there as well. Bury you underneath. These are my other dahlia pots, which are full of weeds and things that I think I need to get rid of. And then I will wash these pots out ready for the dahlias in 2025, which isn't that long away. Very exciting. So that's my time up for this lunchtime, but really glad I've got some cutting back done, some tidying up done, the birds have been fed, and some new crocks to add to the collection. Come with me to my first ever seed swap.
Flowers might be my garden.
You're going to grow them in your garden? Brilliant.
In my little seeds, the colours
like
of
the
the rainbow, and probably
Yeah.
What's this? The fence.
No, it doesn't go on fences, babe, that one. The school teacher there.
You've probably seen my bees there.
A colouring book! That...
Is that beetle? Number 7.
That's it. Get in there, get plenty.
Sorry, darling?
I'd like to get them out. Yeah, I did it. I did it. Top left.
Excuse the poor filming style. I haven't got a tripod or anything, but that was absolutely brilliant. First ever seed swap. We took about 40 different packs of seeds and we were allowed to therefore pick up 40 packs of seeds. We didn't get that many. We chose a few different ones. My little boy said he'd had the best time ever and he was really inspired. We saw Leanne from My Little Patch of Earth, who did that wonderful garden at Gardener'S World Live last year. If you have Instagram, go and check out Leanne on My Little Patch of Earth because she is wonderful, and her garden last year was wonderful and she's doing wonderful things. So follow lovely Leanne. We got some local honey, some wonderful seeds. We met some wonderful organisations, chatted to some brilliant people, and it was absolutely brilliant. I'm sure there's a seed swap near you, so have a look on your local pages and find the nearest seed swap to you and you will not be disappointed. It was absolutely brilliant. And then it was off to Coton Manor to enjoy their beautiful snowdrop collection. What a fantastic gardening day in what has been a brilliant gardening week in this, my gardener's year. Thank you all, as always, for watching. If you've enjoyed the video today, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all again next time for more from this gardener's year.